It's 8 o'clock here in the East. That means we're live. Who all is here? Looks like Patrick of Mostly Old Parts and Rust. He was here at 10:21 this morning. Danny Boyd. Here's my car guy house hack. Attention, John C. Notch Wilburn. I have no idea what he's talking about there. Googled lamp post extender and got nothing. No clue. Sounds house related, so less than fun. Oh, doing some wiring. Well, good for you, man. Creedence Chrysler Revival. How's it going, man? Good to see you at No Name Nationals. When as a spectator had a great time. Sam, this upcoming is your year, 2024. Come bring the heat. You know it's coming. You know it's, what is it, like 340-some-ish days, something like that, approximately. Tony's Hot Rod Garage. Old McDonald has a car. Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Technician Troy is celebrating the girlfriend's birthday tonight. Well, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for sneaking a little bit of time that you probably aren't allowed to, but that's cool. Tell her we said happy birthday. Blake is, he's going to need late. Daughter is doing her first football cheerleading thing. Cool. That's great. Man, they grow up fast, don't they? Blake's typing with gloves. I don't even know how you type with gloves. My phone won't let me type with gloves. NSB Custom Cars is here. JB's Little Shops is what's going on in here. You see it. Frankenstein C20. Unfinished Project said it's not odd, it's eccentric. Do you resemble that remark? JB said he's got bets on me being 3 minutes late. I don't know. I think I was, 30 seconds late, maybe? Something like that. Unfinished says I'm subscribed. Why aren't you? Well, I'm not subscribed to my own channel. Jethro's not either. He's right down here. What are you doing down there? What are you looking for? Heavens Mopars, Engine Light Garage, Twisted Mopar Garage, Pure Pontiac, Big Mike's Hoopty Barn, L&A Auto Works, Ron English. Colleen Tebow is here. When Colleen comes, you know that you can turn the party up now. She brings the punch bowl. Rapid Transit Garage J, Nick the Van Man, Mater's Workshop, and Hot Rod Guy Garage. L&A says, have a good week, John. It was a mixed week, but this is kind of like the end of the work week for me. Not that I don't work on Saturday and Sunday too, but this is what I tell myself is the fun time to hang out with you guys. Then my mom is here. L&A says, Jethro's the coolest. I agree. He's awesome. He's sitting right here at my feet. I don't even know why. He's just hanging out. He doesn't normally like the office. You don't come up here and say hi? No, not really. It's too bright in here for him. 38 POS Racing's here. Andrew Nelson, good to see you. Heavens Mopar Scott. This is so Heavens Mopar Scott with this. Anyone from or near New Hampshire want to deliver a 69 Charger rooftop to Spokane, Washington, or know anyone that could? That is the kind of request that I can see Scott making. Yeah, old McDonald says, as long as Colleen spikes the punch, he'll drink it. I'm sure you don't have to ask her twice. All right. Well, cool. How is everyone doing? This is kind of like the first day of the short off season. Not that it's really an off season for me, but you notice there's no number on the orange paper. For those of you who count down the days to what's going to be now the third annual No Name Nationals. So this one, I didn't have anything scheduled pretty well. You never know. I mean, sometimes I pull things surprises, just, you never know. But generally speaking, tonight's just freestyle. Pure Pontiac Garage says, I know where there's an early Hemi for sale if any of you Mopar guys are interested in one. Pure Pontiac, email me. We'll see what it is. John at PrincetonDragway.com. New Guy's Guitar is in the house. The new No Number Nationals. Oh, it gets a number. It should be the last Friday of the year. So the Friday closest to New Year's Eve is when we should announce it. Wow, that's interesting. Andrew Nelson says, get the roof to York, Pennsylvania, and they'll leapfrog it west from here. That's a big deal. You should take advantage of that. That's a big deal. So now Scott just needs a Charger roof to get from New Hampshire to York, Pennsylvania, which is still a good move, but that's a lot of ground covered. Yeah, Nick the Van Man 90 says, tonight I'm already building for the third annual No Name Nationals in 2024. Yes. Well, I'm already working on it. There's already stuff that's in the pipe for it already. Unfinished Project is mentioning he has new old stock head gaskets and a set of shorty block hugger headers for a 331 Hemi. He finds odd things like that. 6% Recycled is here. I like the thumbnail on his roadmap video. I saw that in my suggestions. Haven't seen it yet, but it was that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I always set this time aside to hang out with you guys. I've got more guests in the pipe. I'm actually working on something I think you're going to think is pretty fun for later in the year. These little short, I call it an off season, even though it doesn't wind up to be much of an off season. But this bit of an off season is one of the time I like to do fun, different things. So I got something fun and different planned for later this year. I think you're going to like it. Jackie Abbott is here, the baker of fine cookies. How you doing, Miss Jackie? Indirect connection, Jason. Look at this. We're setting up a regular express to get that roof moved. That's pretty cool. JB's little shop says he's changing gears. He's going to be dropping the gear down in that little S10. He wants to get in the 9s. Right on. And that's the thing. I mean, it's just like 318 Will Run, that video he put out. Have fun with what you have. Bring what you have. I mean, it's not about who has the fastest or any of that. I remember there was a channel for the first annual, the inaugural No Name Nationals, and he had this project. Nice guy, you know, but he said, oh, I want to do this engine swap and all this so it'll be respectable for the racing. Never saw him again. And it's a shame because just like the car was, it was just fine. Do what you need to do to get it to steer and stop and be roadworthy and bring it. And then, you know, as time goes on, if you say, hey, you know what, maybe next year I want to go a little quicker or something, then do it. I mean, we can keep setting new goals to work on and have the whole year to enjoy with our friends here in the chat and share. And that's the whole point. So don't worry about, you know, will I have a fast enough car? Will I make a good enough showing? Because it's definitely not about that. In fact, one of the most videoed and talked about passes of the entire event was a 17-second eighth mile pass by a 1916 Model T Ford. It is not about what you run. It's just fun. But naturally, there's a lot of guys who will come one year and say, hey, I want to be a little quicker than next. And a lot of guys were this year from last. And I fully expect a lot of guys will be quicker next year than this year. But the main thing is just get there. Patrick is driving us home from clothes shopping. Well, Patrick's a good guy like that, isn't he? Yeah, Hot Rod Guy Garage says, build something to have fun, and everyone has a new baseline. Sure. And if you come back slower the next year, well, that's fine too. Nobody's, I mean, that's, no one cares what you run. They just want you to be there and have a good time, have a good attitude, come out and have a good time. Twisted Mopar Garage is updating his drivetrain after 10 years. It was time for a fresh start. Yep, I can see that. I'm kind of like that too with one vehicle. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to really hammer on it. I've got to get this building project behind me before I can. Tony Napoli says, what do you think of a 79 Dodge Aspen RT? I found one for $1,500 with a 360. Good buy or pass? Totally a good buy if it's solid. I mean, if it's so rough that you're afraid to pull it up on a rollback for fear of it falling apart, that's not a good deal. But yeah, why not? Sounds cool to me. I mean, what kind of condition could it be in that it wouldn't be worth that? It will be worth that in parts no matter what kind of condition, I would think. 6% recycled says, no matter what I bring next year, it'll be faster than this year. That's exactly right. And I'll say this, anybody who shows up was faster than anybody who didn't. Period. Period. The guy with a 6-second car who does not show up is not faster than the guy with a 12-second car that did show up. It's that simple. People can say, no, that's not true. Yes, it is. It's like all these people who talk about what a great pistol shot they are, but they don't come to the matches and shoot. They'll never shoot in front of a crowd like that and put their ego on the line and shoot in front of everybody else. They just say, well, just take my word for it. I'm a really good shot. Well, no, you're not. You know, these guys, say there's 85 people at a match and 5 of them are just, couldn't hit the broadside of the barn, but they showed up and they shot in front of a crowd. Those people shot better than the people who were too timid to do so. I stand by that. So just show up. Half-Wit Lab said, I barely made it, but I made it. Hey, we were glad to see you. NSB says, we go to Tennessee. It's as far north as we go. That's as far north as you need to. Kim Fixes Things is here. Turbo Tom is here. Glad you could make it. I see Tall Garage, Rapid Transit J. Glad everybody's here. Twisted Mopar said, I went red both races. I was ready for a pro tree. Yeah, I'm just not wired that way. I mean, if I practiced at it, I'm sure I could improve, but it's just never been a thing to me. So Heavens Mopars is working out a parts trade. And yeah, Tall Garage is what time am I ending tonight? Well, I typically end at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know. I guess Tony's Hot Rod Garage is going live at 10 p.m. Eastern. I usually direct people over there. Usually. I think Tony's live tonight. I don't know. Jason's Garage is in the house. How's it going? Dennis, I was not ready for a pro tree. I was not either. I did not realize those guys were running on a pro tree. When I made my pass, I was looking for the top bulb and going to kind of time it off of the top bulb, to bring the RPM up, and boom, the whole tree lit up. I'm like, okay, I lost the pass. I didn't want to botch the pass, even though I botched the light. So it's funny. Stuff happens. Tony said I'll be live. Yeah, Tony will be live at 10. Buff is going to be in Pendleton, Oregon. How far is that? I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool. Looks like to me that this whole community is going to be able to build a supply chain to get Scotty's roof. Look at this. Got to find somebody from that New England area to get it down to Pennsylvania. This looks like he's going to practically get to Scott. Yep, get it in the hands of the tribe first. It'll get there. Yeah, it sure looks like it, Andrew. Can't believe it. Just this chat has pretty much got his roof almost all the way there. Heavens Mopar says, Jackie, the best peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies ever. Goodness, yes, they were good. I tried the lemon. I tried the lemon first. It was outstanding. They were all good. LNA Auto Works says, this group is insanely cool. I am thrilled and humbled to be able to be a part of this group. This group is amazing. Twisted Mopar said, MSB, I let you guys have a round in Junk Hope. Yeah, this group is just the best. It's like somebody took the entire YouTube automotive community and just took the top 10% and said, just you guys. I mean, that's practically what it's like. You guys are the best. So much talent and kindness and good character. These are just the best of the automotive community. Indirect Connection says, I'm going to Scott's next spring. That's cool. 38 POS Racing says, I stumbled across some YouTuber that was bashing it in and all the cars that were there. Yeah, yeah, we have one of those. Yeah, we have one of those. We have another one that likes to cry to him all the time and then hang out with everybody like he doesn't too. NSB, got to admit, I look good losing. Dennis said, I tell you what, to lose to a Lenko Dart that runs I think they cranked off a 631 on a track that couldn't really hold it. That Dart flies. That Dart on a cool night, a good track, stuff right, that Dart's in fives. We've got several cars that with good conditions, good track can run a 5, and I want to encourage that to happen at No Name Nationals in 2024. I think there will be several guys who are capable of throwing down a 5, and a few of them are in here. So yeah. Jeff made a great video about the Model T. Yes, he did. So if you want to see more about Turbo Tom's Model T, Two Hacks Jeff put up a good video on it. I've got some good footage of it making a pass. In fact, the footage I think that's in Jeff's, he got from me, and I used a thumbnail from that for this video. So Tom, if you didn't see that, if this live was in progress and you didn't notice it, your Model T was in the thumbnail for this live. Yeah, that was really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to take a little ride in the Model T. That was so cool. There's Charger 383 Mopar William. The winner of the inaugural No Name Nationals Burnout competition. Big Mike is working on a 5-second reaction time. Me too. I hate to admit it, but my reaction time, that one pass I made just at Sykeston, my pass was my reaction time was 1:32. That bad. And I don't mean 0.132. I mean 1 second 0.32, because I just, I basically just knew it was over when I saw the whole tree come down. So I didn't try to catch up. I didn't react to it at all. Just took a breath and then made a pass. But the last time I was on a timer drawing from concealment, 2 shots on the target at 5 yards, I want to say was 1:35 or 1:36, maybe 1:33, something like that. So it's about the same amount of time. How crazy is that? I guess it's all what you get used to doing. Kim fixes things. How much would you guess a rebuildable small block 727 would cost me? Just Mopar Joe and I were talking about that. A couple $100 is pretty decent for that. Although, I don't really want a 727 in much of anything with a small block unless it's like a truck or tow vehicle or something. I'm all about the 904. Mater says my best reaction time was a 001. Yeah, that's killing it. Tom's reaction time was a 171. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, that was one of the coolest things to see a 1916 Model T Ford take the tree and go down the track. I thought that was really cool. Pendleton, Oregon's 3 hours away from Spokane. Okay. Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly caught a 007 Sunday and a 125 the next run. Yeah, it is what it is. That's pretty good, though. Were you taking a chance to tree? You're just that much up on the wheel. Yeah, Dust Devil says blank orange paper. So sad. The blank orange paper is just an off-season thing. Oh, yes, Turbo Tom, that was my best shift from low to high. So how was it? I forgot about that. So you actually do one shift. How far down track were you when you make the shift? I'm just kind of curious because I know you're not working off a tack or anything. I'd kind of be interested in knowing, like, was there any in-car of that run? Or that would be kind of neat. Will Fastenal ship it? I hear Fastenal's not a bad deal to ship. And that's hard to imagine because Fastenal's pretty high on other stuff. But I hear they're actually a pretty good deal on shipping stuff like engines or whatever. Man, I'm itching. Oh, wow. Yeah, Blue Collar Nate says that when two fillings fall out of your teeth, it's time to shift. Well, Turbo Tom, I got good video of it from the starting line, and it's pretty good. Followed it down track. It's good video. A lot of people videoed that pass. I'm glad you made it. That was so cool. It's just something you just don't see. Yeah, 38 POS Racing. What a warrior. Drives that car from Nebraska and takes it out on the track. Yeah, Tony says they were great for shipping. Haven't used them in a few years. Yeah, I haven't shipped anything with them, but a lot of people tell me it's good shipping with them. I don't know if I'd trust a roof being shipped. Yeah, so that's a good point, Colleen. If you're going to ship that roof, you're going to need to build a good wooden crate for it. You can't just put that in a cardboard box. If you did, I cannot imagine that you would get it back without some kind of structural damage. I would definitely build a wooden crate for that, made for that roof panel. Turbo Tom says, I still have burnout videos going up every day at 9 a.m. Well, that's cool. I didn't realize you were dropping those at a certain time. So check out Turbo Tom's channel. He's got videos from the burnout competition every day at 9 a.m. Neat. So we've got the roof panel from Milwaukee to Scott. We can get the roof panel from York, Pennsylvania to Milwaukee. Who do we have that can get the roof panel from New Hampshire to York, Pennsylvania? Mater's Workshop had 4 dead on dial stickers on my truck. A 93 Dodge 1-ton dually. Oh, that's cool. When the steering wheel breaks, when the slicks grab after a spinning pass leaving the lights, it's time for some fix, Max Wedge says. Okay. You physically broke the steering wheel? Wouldn't fiberglass be a reasonable solution to a roof panel? Man, that's one place I just really, really would not try to put fiberglass. Will be a steel roof panel into steel A pillars, maybe a B pillar, and definitely a C pillar, and around your glass and all. I wouldn't do it. I would do steel. Even if I had to fix something that's just completely trashed rusted, I would fix the steel. Fiberglass fenders, hood, deck lid, doors. But man, I'd be hard pressed to try to fit a roof skin. Which makes me wonder, is it worth it to try? Does AMD make a roof skin for that? Because a 69 Charger, if they make one for anything, there's a good chance they make one for that. Yeah, Max Wedge Dick Dastardly pulled a spoke off a Chinese steering wheel. Yikes. Oh man, that is scary. Whew. I'm glad that it didn't break the splines out of it, because how frightening would that be? Drifting in the other lane or toward the wall and you can't even correct it. Heavens Mopar says this is the greatest puzzle ever. Yeah, man. I think it'd be neat if we could make it work. One-Eyed Cat says, good evening, my NNN peoples. Well, glad you're here, Don. Had lit off, it scared me. Well, I bet. Brian Beeler looked up 55 to 57 Chevy truck tonight. I was watching Brian Beeler's roundup with the 55 Chevrolet a day or two ago. That was pretty cool. I don't know what it is, but I really enjoy those. I love the way he narrates them and goes through cars for sale. It's actually a pretty good way to get an idea of the value of them. It's neat what he does, so I enjoy that. Nah, Tony's going to do a roof transplant on his 71 Charger. The AMD roof skin for the 69 Charger is $899, which sounds terrible, but by the time you consider all the shipping and all of that and the work and all the hours you're going to put into prepping it, it's probably not the worst deal. This one's solid with all the inner structures for $575. Well, I'll tell you, Heavens Mopar Scott, I don't know. From an economic standpoint, it's probably not. It's a wash at best. From the standpoint of having something that's an original part, which I would prefer, that to me is what makes more sense than the money. Because $325 by the time that thing's got to get across the country and put the crate and all that is going to get used up really quick. You'll probably run out of gas on that idea around Albuquerque, if I had to guess. Tony says mine needs more than a skin too. What happened to it? Did a tree fall on it? I mean, I remember when you could get at least probably not the 69, but I remember when you could get the 71 to 74 Charger roof skins in the junkyard, and the 71 and 2s were probably getting hard to find, but the 3 and 4s were plentiful. I remember when the 73 and 74 Chargers, people were like, pass. Not anymore. And I thought it was a value because people didn't like the roof window, but no, those are totally worthy too. Neglected vinyl roof. Yeah, that's a killer. Those vinyl, the sad thing is I like the vinyl tops. The vinyl on the roof skin is just, I love the look of it, but it's not the most durable thing to live outside. Yeah, blue collar Nates. I passed on a 74 for 300 once for that exact reason. There are people half our age that will read that and say, "Yeah, you're making that up." No, really, exactly. Yeah, twisted Mopars generally after a bad landing. Yeah, 38 POS Racing. I don't know if you remember me doing. I had Tom Sarmento on my channel here a while back, and he was a mechanic for Warner Brothers, and got to do all kinds of work on the. One of only a few people that did work on the General Lees for the entire run of the filming of the show. Well, season 2 and up, and that was fun. I'd like to have Tom back on. That was a lot of fun. You'll figure it out, Heavens Mopars. It will be a car again. Make some out of a junkyard car and find the right shape cut and then manipulate it. Wow. You talking about doing a roof transplant from that? That'd be rough. That'd be really rough because that's a long stamping. In fact, I was talking with the late Jim Bennett, did automotive restoration, and of course Jim was talented. He was a real pro, and he told me that when they would bead blast or media blast a body to get the rust off of it, he said they would do the roof by hand because that stamping was so long that just the heat of the blasting process could mess it up. So I thought, wow, that's interesting. Um, for that reason, it's tough to do any kind of body work on a long panel like that roof. Dust Devil said my dad gave $50 for my satellite because the lady who owned it didn't want to pay $200 to fix it. So Dust Devil Brown, for those of you who don't know, has I think it's a 71 satellite, and he he that's a project that's going to be going on in his life here real soon. You'll see that on his channel, I'm sure, soon enough. Yeah, buy the skin, then cut out the inner from a similar shaped car. You could. I guess we're just getting to the point where things like that make sense. BNR says need a lot of spare money to save a vintage Mopar charger. Yeah, chargers cost a lot. Thing about a charger is that they were kind of like a body style that was only hot rod. Like if you did a Roadrunner, you could get parts from a Roadrunner or a GTX or a Satellite or a Belvedere or a four-door or a wagon, right? All of that would interchange for a lot of things. Some things it wouldn't, but a lot of things it would. But if you had a charger, man, the only thing your door could come from was a charger. The only thing your fender could come from was a charger. The only thing your quarter panel could come from. The roof, I mean, every panel on a charger is unique. So, yeah, with the charger, you just don't have as many options. So, because they're popular, as they should be, they're good cars, it makes it a lot harder to find this kind of stuff. Dust Ellis has got to build the trucks to pick up the satellite. Well, put it all on the board. You can do it, Brian. 38 loved that live. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I think we'll now that it's kind of the off season, like we'll get Tom back on sometime. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I have some other interesting live guests in the hopper. I think you guys are going to like too. Andrew Nelson says real steel fits better than the repop. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with like reproduction panels. I've used a lot more junkyard stuff, but I know buddies of mine that used to buy the early Taiwan stuff, like Ford truck, Chevy truck patch panels, and the early stuff from the 90s and 80s was disastrous. I mean, we're talking body lines a half an inch off. I mean, it's not like it used to be. Evans Mopar says that Charger is going to be tubbed and done Joe Dirt style to bring it back just to prove it can be saved. Yes, Evans Mopar, Scott, that will be a car again. Look out.
What's up, John? What's up, chat? You mind if I hijack your live for a minute?
Uh-oh, look out. It's Chris from Busted Radio Garage. What's happening?
What's going on, guys? Hey, I just wanted to stop in for a minute and do a quick giveaway, if that's okay with John.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. As you guys know, today we had the release of our brand new BRG 1776 hats. So I'm going to give 2 of those away right now. So John will have to keep an eye on the chat for me a minute. As you can see, I'm in my upper garage.
Got it.
All right. So the first question is, if anybody can answer this, Jeffers Motorsports Park and Dragway in Sikeston, Missouri is the home of the No Name Nationals, and they are a great place. They took very good care of us. Does anybody in the chat know the street or road name of Jeffers Motorsports Park? The first one to correctly answer that will get one of my hats right now.
Ooh.
That ought to be a good one.
You guys remember what you put in your GPS?
Come on, somebody's got to know it.
Oh, they're going to get it. They're probably just burning down their map app right now, which is okay.
That's all good. We're going to make them earn it.
Not Speedway Drive. That's a good guess. Okay, we got the right answer. Hang on a minute. So, unfinished project, he has it in 2 words, Sandy Wood Road. And then Tony's Hot Rod Garage has it as 1 word, Sandy Wood. So, what say you, Chris? They have the right letters.
And as far as I'm concerned, whoever put it correctly as 1 word is the winner. I'm not sure who did that. That's the way it's listed. That's the way it is listed.
Then the correct answer will be the way it's listed. Will be Sandy Wood, Tony's Hot Rod Garage.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Second question, second giveaway, and it is for the second hat that I've got sitting right here. This is going to be a good one for you guys. As everybody here knows, I have a burnout dog, and she's sitting right there. The first person that can correctly put that name in the chat will win the second hat.
Can you see the chat, Chris?
No, I cannot, John. Let me see if I can. My wife can see it. She said she'll let us know.
Okay, I'll put it up. I think I see it.
Wendy English.
Kathy said Wendy English named it first. All right, good deal. The 2 winners, please send me an email at bustedradiogarage@gmail.com with your address and so on and so forth, and we will get these shipped out to you.
How cool is that? Also, you want to plug your live for tomorrow?
Sure. Those of you that don't know, tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are doing BRG's largest ever giveaway. Right now, we currently have over 160 items to give away. And that includes anything from full socket sets all the way down to these new hats that you just see me give away now, and everything in the world you can think of in the middle. So just make sure to be over there starting tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Once Kathy gets everybody's names down, you know the deal. We're going to get them in a bowl, and we're going to start drawing names. Those of you that are in John's chat right now have never been to one of these, There's no strings attached. Once your name is drawn, we ship the prize to you. We give you the prize. We even pay for the shipping to get it there. And all this is to thank all our subscribers for just being subscribers. It's just a big thank you. So make sure to get there and win you something.
If you're listening to this on replay, I'm going to have a link to that live down below. As soon as they put up the link for the live, I'll link it, put it in my community tab too.
John, I appreciate you having me. Chat, I appreciate you playing along, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Anytime, Chris. Thanks for being here, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You guys just never know what's going to happen on here, right? So for those who missed it earlier, Busted Radio Garage has a countdown clock that's been running since October 1st for their live tomorrow. And they're going to shut that down and do a fresh live stream for that. But that countdown clock, he's been jumping in periodically and giving stuff away just for whomever's there watching it. So, you know, a little bit ago, about an hour and a half ago, I just appeared and gave away a couple of shirts and stickers. And so he did the same thing on this live just now. So that was a fun little collaboration. This community is just so much fun. We just love it. Yeah, One-Eyed Cat. I was like that too. I was thinking that. Cave Dave. Glad to see you in here. And Hoopty Mike. The Light Plant Transporter. Junkyard D is here. Max Wedge Dick Dasher says, do I have to have a Busted Radio Garage sticker on my car? Done. I'll talk to Chris. I was just glad to host them. Great folks. I really enjoyed meeting them, come out to Sykeston, and just a lot of fun. This community's great. Yeah, there will be a few neat things coming to this channel that you guys are going to like in the way of giveaways coming up a little bit later this year. There is something garage. How's it going, sir? I hope life gives you the opportunity to be at the No Name Nationals again next year. It was great to meet you, and hopefully you'll get to stick around for more of it next year. Mexican Spec is here. Good to see you. B&R likes Fitzy Fabrication. Yes. Good stuff. I like channels like that like to share their knowledge. It's good stuff. Yeah, Mopar's, Mustangs, and minivans. That is correct. You are not the only one. So there's going to be changes coming to Monkey Bike for 2024. And it's okay. We all just move forward together, right? DNR says FedEx Freight is good often. Yeah, I've had decent experience with FedEx Freight. What I don't like is when they say, well, only ship to a business address. I'm like, no, I have a crane. Why do I can get that right off your truck. Just so easy. Why can't you just deliver it here? Like, I see the truck. The truck is blocks away, but I have to get it dropped at my friend's place way over here and then go over there and get it because he has a dock and he doesn't use the dock anyway. He just comes and gets it with, forklift. So it's like, stupid. Cave Dave didn't get to talk with me at No Name Nationals. I was busy. I was swamped. I didn't get to hang out with people or anything. Like, there's so many little things. Like, I really wanted to walk over and take a better look at that Geo that was there. And every single time I had to get somewhere else to do something else. I just, don't get to do a lot of hanging out there on game day. But I will make every attempt to streamline things and do more of that next year. Oh, Twisted Mopar. It's a great group. It'll be great. You'll fit right in, have a great time. Hope you come back. Blue Collar Performance is Monkey Bike and Outlaw Monkey Bike. I like your thinking. Yeah, something. I could and well, eventually will. I'm sure. That was a cool car. Tell FedEx your business. Yeah, I could do it. It's just it's funny how they're like that. Yeah, right. Wendy was my chauffeur. Wendy helped me a lot. Wendy saved me a few miles of walking, and that adds up because man, your feet just can't do all of that. Is it No Name Nationals is a week for me. The guy with the rooftop refuses to send it. If someone picks it up, he'd be willing. Okay. Yeah. One cat won a 2 4-barrel air cleaner for the Valiant. Next year we'll be sporting it. That's right. Justin Hill says, how are things? Well, things are okay. Get on U-Ship, get a bid. You could do that. You could do that. I mean, I guess. Yep, Frank McCart, Rivet and F100 says, don't forget Busted Radio has a live giveaway tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Frank, if you missed it, Chris was just in here not 5 minutes ago, and he gave some things away and has reminded us about the live tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll put the link below if you're watching or listening to this on replay. Rabbit Transit Garages next year. I'm going to bring my Mopar inspired racing lawnmower. Sounds great to me. Thing about racing lawnmowers, we didn't want to do a class with that because there are already so many race mowers out there and they can just get so crazy fast. We're trying to go a little more speed limited. So we got some ideas to refine on the whole monkey bike thing for our crazy class, but we're working on that. We do plan to announce the 3rd annual AHRA No Name Nationals will be the last Friday of this year. Whatever day that falls on should be. Charger 383 Mopar says Cushman class. Well, why don't you find 15 other guys bringing a Cushman and we'll talk about it. Or we could do a Cushman quick 8. If you can find 8 other guys who want to bring a Cushman, dead serious, we can do a Cushman class. Well, there's Sam Mountain Ballistics. How's it going? LNA says Toe Pig class. Everybody says that. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Something garages. I didn't chicken out at the burnout contest at Ford Fest like I did at No Name Nationals. Next year I'll race my Mustang. Yeah, man. Come do it. Colleen says the 28th. Jason says the 29th. Okay. Narrows it down. Dust Devil saying the 29th, since it looks like there's more 29s up there, it's probably when it is. Although I was thinking it was the 30th last year because it's a leap year. Now I'm going to look. It's the 29th. That should be when it gets announced then. I mean, we were thinking of doing it on New Year's Eve, but now probably be that Friday for sake of practicality. Friday is the day most people, come hang out here. So, and word gets around for those that don't make it, so we're not worried about that. Although, was it Frugal something was the name of the channel, like Frugal Garage or something like that. Frugal Performance. They were doing a video, doing something on Punisher Ray's car, and said he thought he had 2 weeks and it's just one. I think maybe in the back of Ray's mind, he was thinking it was the same weekend as last year, and we moved it up one weekend, which actually worked out great. Max Wedge says 1, 2, or 4th weekend is good for me. Well, I don't know what that comes out to. Twisted Mopar says, anyone here from Ed's Machine Shop lately? I've seen Ed put up a couple of videos. I don't see him in here at the moment. B&R admires a skilled body man. Yeah, that's a whole different skill set and the way that people are wired. I admire people who can do it. The really right-brained people, I think it takes to do that. Twisted Mopar loves doing body work. I've probably painted one whole car worth of panels on all different cars. Like I've painted fenders on one and a roof on another and doors on another and that kind of thing, right? I probably painted one whole car worth of panels. I've never actually painted one whole car though. So that would be interesting. Auto Salvage says, I would rather do body work. LNA says, I hate body work. Yeah, body work is something that generally is people are either all the way on or all the way off. They really like it or they really don't. I respect it. I like the work in terms of I think it's cool and it's neat, but it's just so different. It's so unlike mechanical work. Jason says my dad is a good body man and I am not. The only body man in my family would be my mom's uncle. He used to paint at a commercial body shop. And he showed me pictures of a school bus that he painted one time. He painted. I actually, if he was still alive, he would be like 100 and who knows what by now. But I have a body hammer of his in the top of my toolbox. Maybe I'll bring it on live one day. It's an ancient body hammer. T's Good Time Garage. He says, hey, gang, can't stay long, but hello from Firebird Raceway outside of Boise at the Halloween Classic. So far, the Sykeston magic seems to have stayed in Sykeston. But there's always tomorrow. Well, good luck, T. Hope you do well there. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. LNA says, which Brainerd are you talking about? There's more than one Brainerd? Yeah, LNA does collision work. Yeah, I respect that. I've only done body work on a need-to basis, like a triage basis. Well, the last body work I did was a friend of mine had a quarter panel watered up on his car. It was hard enough to move a frame rail, and we welded a quarter on it. Got it pretty good. Didn't do any paint. We got the quarter on it. And to try to minimize the amount of surgery and mess, what we did is we just cut it in our own places to minimize the seams. So we cut it high on the C-pillar, and then we cut it down in the narrow spot where it heads toward the rocker, and then got it lined up really, clamped it really nice to where the body lines were really good. And welded it in, and it actually turned out really nice. I wasn't part of the painting on it. Oh yeah, and cut it down. Cut it down inside the door jamb so that it wasn't visible, but it also wasn't around a striker or any of that. It turned out really good. It was kind of an unconventional way of doing it, but I liked how it turned out. Door gaps and all were beautiful. Trunk gap, all that turned out great. Something Garage is going to try to hit the Mopar versus Brand X race next weekend. That's cool. Yeah, Auto Salvage Outlaw says no JB Wild was harmed in his bodywork. I hear that. Sam Mountain Ballistic says, I wonder how strict tech is at Brainerd. Every track's a little different. Brainerd probably has real tech there. I mean, there are some places where tech is pretty lax and some places where it's hit and miss. And just the way it is. Yeah, New Guys Guitar, I believe we're talking about Brainerd, Minnesota. I guess the dragway, I'm assuming. Yeah, that no tech thing. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why they would even think of operating that way. Duct tape passes state inspection. Well, I guess it depends what it's on. I like duct tape to wrap a wire, actually. I like it better than electrical tape to wrap a wire. And that's just in a pinch. If it's a place where I can get a piece of heat shrink over it, obviously, but if not, duct tape I like better than L&A. There's street cars that are quick. In this day and time of the eBay turbo and the LS swaps, there's a lot of cars that are faster than they should be for everything else in the chassis, and it's a lot easier to make a car quick in this day and time than the safety to keep up with it. We see a lot of that. Look how many really fast cars now have junkyard engines in them now because of turbos. Oh, okay. Junkyard D says there's a Brainerd, Georgia. I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense. That's why, Hunter asked that question. I did not know there was a Brainerd, Georgia. Auto Salvage just found him a Dodge Charger. What year? What kind? Using original parts and going fast is cooler. I like the original parts thing. I think it's cool. How is it not cooler to go quicker than you're supposed to go with factory parts than just swiping a credit card? To me, it's just no question. 72. I had a friend in high school who had a 72 Charger. It had 68,000 original miles. And that's when 72 Chargers were just, cheap, worth nothing. 318 car, air conditioning. It was a nice car. It depreciated a lot under his ownership. He was kind of a blacksmith. But the car, when he died here, I don't know, about 8-9 years ago, and from what I hear, his widow got the car, which actually came out of her family, and somehow it got stolen. I think the widow and his mom, they let somebody try to sell it for them, and somehow the car and the title got gone, and they never saw the guy again. So, Sam Mountain Ballistics, did my car look a lot different than the last time you saw it? Well, I don't know if you're talking about from just video, but it looked good. I remember that. Something Garage is saying 72 Charger versus 72 Gran Torino. Well, let's do it. Y'all make it happen. Auto Salvage thinks it's 440 and 727. Okay. I want to say there was maybe one 446 barrel 72 Charger, or could have been a Roadrunner, but there was 172 446 barrel and stuff. I could be wrong, but I think it was about that rare. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Sam Mountain Ballistics said when I had it apart. Yeah, I was there. I was at Hunter and Dakota's place. That was cool. It was good seeing them. I was hoping the old man will bring the tractor and race it. He has a flathead V8 powered Ford tractor. I just think it's cool. Max Wage Dick Dastardly says, I'm too old for a turbo. Just can't do it. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I like them. I think they're great. They're just not my style. They're okay. I remember in the 90s in NMCA, Pat Musey said, and I'm thinking he was probably talking almost certainly about Bob Rieger. It has to be who he was talking about. But he said there was a turbo car that came in there, and Musey could see where it was going. It's like the whole game is just making an engine that can withstand the boost and sending it, and you have boost controllers. He could see where it was going to go. And he told the NMCA, the best thing you can do for this class is to load that turbo car up and send it packing and tell it not to come back, because it's going to ruin what everybody else here is doing. And time has proven Pat was right. Turbos are great. You see where it's going. It chokes out all the other cool stuff. So Slant Daily Garage is talking about a match race he wants to have for Dallas next year. And as we have found out with the first two no-name nationals, there's a whole lot of time between now and the event. But Professor P in Mr. Rotter's neighborhood, heads up, naturally aspirated small block under 430 cubes with a tunnel ram for the money in No Name Nationals 2024. I predict that we're going to probably see our first $1,000 match race next year. That's a guess, the way things are going. I would not be surprised. Of course, we know this event is not about money, and the house doesn't participate in that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Dakota says dad's tractor would have smoked most of the cars. Let me tell you what, that tractor's legit. I'd love to see what that tractor run. And even if he doesn't want to try to run at the 660, I can understand, because high speed on that tractor is just a scary thing. But it would be neat to see what it would do maybe in the 330. Or just get it to max speed and let off instead of keep it there. Bad Tree Blake sneaked in here. Good to see you, man. Glad you could make it. Yeah. He says dad's done 60, 70 miles an hour on that tractor. Yeah. Look at this. Something Garage is you down to race for 1,000. I wouldn't all be surprised if we see that kind of stuff. Understand, we don't want this thing to just become about money and grudges and stuff like that, but I wouldn't be surprised. We saw some money exchanged for racing this year, so. Yeah, 38 wants to know the stability of the 8N. Yeah, I hope they describe it to you like they described it to me. It was scary. Will a tractor pass tech? Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? The same things, the same concerns would be present. Yeah, see, Slant Daily says $625 on a 2 out of 3 heads up race. Right. So we've already got, that kind of stuff. Dakota says the tractor has 666 gears with tall tires and maybe 110 to 125 horsepower. Yeah, right. Dakota, I wouldn't be surprised if it has more than that because the last version of that flathead was it 110 or more from the factory. One of you Ford guys, I'm sure, can tell me. Yeah, something. Alex says, I bet that 80 and is scary. Yeah, I bet so too. No seatbelts, no windows, no cage. Why can't you add seatbelts? Why can't you add a window net or cage? I mean, I'd say that you could do things to work around that buff. Definitely a helmet, definitely belts, probably a cage and a net would net for sure would be a good idea if you have a place to put it. Definitely got to keep. I was thinking definitely got to keep cooling off the track. Definitely got to have a battery hold down. There's a lot of things, but yeah, I don't know why you couldn't have a tractor pass tech. And they only weigh 2,000 pounds. What I think would be neat is a tractor that can pull the front wheels, do a good wheel stand. That's kind of. It's hard to stop a tractor fast. This is true. Fortunately, there's 1,300 feet of shutdown in Jeffers. It's a pretty decent shutdown there. Well, no, you're not sure what you mean with that, man. Buffdale campus, we have a skid steer that does big wheelies. Oh, I bet. Snowmobiles drag race, yes, they do. I have seen snowmobiles that fly. I know I've seen snowmobiles running 10s in the quarter. I know I've seen that, which just seems crazy to me. Yeah, see, BNR's 52. Alice Chalmers will pull the front wheels in first gear. Right, exactly. Riding mowers will. I mean, yeah, why not? Something did a John Force burnout. Yeah, had some good burnouts there. People leaving the water box. Yeah, Rapid Transit Jason race sleds run at Great Lakes Dragway. Snowmobiles is just not a cultural thing here. You never see them here. In fact, the fastest ones I've seen, I think, were at Rockingham Dragway, and they were from somewhere else. I mean, that's Rockingham's a little bit farther south than here. Okay, Bad Tree Blake's got a 440 and a steel crank at the machine shop per Terry Legend. Hopefully it checks out and can start building a large incher. There we go. So Bad Tree Blake is going to go from worst oil down to throwing some numbers. That's going to be cool, Blake. Definitely keep us posted. I'm excited about that for you. LS in an 80, and why not? Sleds run with the motorcycle class here. I can see that. Junkyard D, I would think that Blake, instead of doing a 451, might be doing a 452 452, I think, is a more common number when you're doing a 440 overbore, 375 stroke, and a 451 is more of a product of doing a stroke or 400. Either way, that's about, that will be great in Blake's Dart. Junkyard Deed said his car will run 550s next year. Love it. Do it. Looking forward to it. I would love to see Junkyard D come in there in a 5-second machine. I think we're going to see some 5s next year. We got a lot of guys knocking on the door 5s. NSB Lee, Punisher Ray, Shane Polito. Dallas will probably have a 5 before the year's out. I'd say we're going to see some 5s next year. And of course, if Redbeard comes back, he's already been deep in the 5s, so we'll see what happens. NSB says, I've heard 512s run pretty good. What gives you that idea? Yeah, Dakota says my Trans Am does a 5-second 60-foot right on. LNA's got a phone croaking out. I know what that's all like. Bad Tree's going to have a 10-second Death Pumpkin? They absolutely can. The Bad Tree guys, they show up. That's, and I'm not going to minimize anything those guys have done, but if you wanted to say, like, what's a secret of Bad Tree Productions, look at all the cumulative times that they've moved the chains and just stayed after it and kept showing up and kept doing things and kept building things. You just keep doing that and you build something cool. I mean, look at those guys. They've just kept doing that. The Triple Pickles kept making progress, kept getting quicker, kept getting cooler. The Nacho Cuda, that thing's a stone axe, and they just keep doing it. Blake's Death Pumpkin just keeps moving forward. Now he's doing an engine. It's what those guys do. It's not about throwing the memorable home run every once in a while. It's all those 2.5 yards per carries, and the Bad Tree guys do that. And it shows. Nick the Van Man says, I'd like to do an 890 on street tires. That's 100% doable. One-Eyed Cat got a 10-1. Wants to see if he can get the low 8s next year. Well, you'll almost certainly improve. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Dakota, what was your best ET if you want to share? Twisted Mopar wants to get in the 5s. There we go. Yeah, see, there's going to be several guys that are probably got a good shot at the 5s, and I can definitely see something for that next year. Well, Dakota, the worst part of the track is that they hadn't been running on it. It had been a pretty good drought there, and the track wasn't run in beforehand. That's the worst part. But that said, I mean, hey, Ricky Gervais ran his personal best in that Duster, mid-7s. So you probably could have done a lot quicker with that Firebird. But you still went 920. Okay, you got a lot of room. You got a lot of room to keep going. Russell ran an 812 on street tires in that Metro. That was the quickest pass on Mr. Haney. I think I went a 12 or 13 in it. And Cope did about the same, something like that. But Haney lost like 6/10 going to that smaller Hemi. Buff Del Campo's never been on a drag strip. You've never been on a drag strip? Buff, what's going on, man? You've got to do that. Big Block 402's enjoying a football game. Halftime up 36-0. Right on. Dakota said engine should make over 400 horsepower, car about 4,000 pounds. Well, Dakota, I hope you come back, and we'll see if you can whittle on that for next year. Well, Twisted Mopar Garage has about 75 inches of tire per side, so. What do you run, Dennis? It's like a 1650. Was it a 31 1650? Is that what you run? Something crazy like that. Buff was test flying airplanes for excitement. No more of that. Well, Buff, now it's time to get on the ground and go quick. One-Eyed Cat says the addiction starts quick, like with the first pass. Ask me how I know. Yeah, Dennis is 32 1450. Yeah, it's a lot of tire. Gosh, I remember changing those on my friend Robert's car. And he had these old Summers Brothers axles that had both a 4.5 and 4 3/4 pattern, but they were all half-inch stud. You couldn't run 5/8 drive studs back then. It was kind of an exotic thing when he built the car. So he had all 10 in there. He drilled the brake disc cats for all 10, and the wheels were already double drilled too. So it was like changing tires on a 1.5-ton truck. Both there's something doing that. But he quit breaking studs. Later, something, Alex. Glad you were here. Best run there was a 640 flat. Yeah, that's good. That's moving on. Oh, Dakota's going for Speedmaster aluminum heads. Dakota's going to bring more heat next year. I'm looking forward to it. 38's wondering if I can get a 59 into the 8s without losing streetability. Yeah, you can. You can. No doubt about it. What kind of transmission are you running in that car, Ray? Bad Tree gets butterflies first pass of the season. Yep, I can see that. Yeah, Buff, we'll do it. We'll do a walk down and we'll do the whole thing. Gosh, I missed half the drivers' meeting for something this year. I can't even remember what it was. But we'll definitely do that. You know what, Buff, remind me, and what we'll do is we will do that on Thursday. I'll get people. So this year on Thursday, I walked the track with Andrew Nelson, Rick Geray. We walked the track. We'll walk the track on Thursday before the dinner cruise with everybody, the newbies, and we will walk you through all the lights, what they mean, all of that stuff, the distance between them, all of that stuff. So just remind me, that's the perfect time to do such a thing. Yeah, I bet Twisted Dennis's tires got to tilt them out to get them out from under the quarter. Yeah, me and Hunter got that right to group photo, right. Yep, we'll work on it. TH400 with a 308 rear gear. 38, if you went to a 4L80, you could put a lot more gear in that, like a 373, and still keep all your streetability, get a lot more gear in it. That'd be something to consider. Yeah, announce the track walk. Yeah. Well, we were just doing it to check the condition of the track, look for debris, that kind of thing. But next year we can do that. We'll take a group down. Drop the rear. Oh, I see. You have to take your rear shackles loose to get your tires off that car, Dennis. That's pretty wild. That's wild. Yeah, 1 bolt per side. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it makes sense to me. I guess as long as you got enough extension that your brake hose and all, why not? Yeah, see, that's what B&R saying, the 4L80E. If at all possible, I would not want to have an electronic version of that. I'd want to have a hydraulic version of the 4L80. That tucked tire life. Well, on a Dodge Dart, you've got a tucked tire life at 26 by 8.5. So your Dart is so Lee, your car it's back halved, right? I'm thinking it's a back halved car. Blake's has had the springs moved in. Yours is actually back halved. I'm assuming Dennis's is. I mean, even moving springs, you'll never get what he's got on his car. I could be wrong though. Well, no, actually, Dennis's it's not a Dart; it's a Duster wheel. Yeah, so Dennis's just moved springs will fit. Yeah, NSB is back half with a ladder bar. Yeah, that's a good combo. I always thought that the ladder bars with leaf springs was a weird looking combo, but it's kind of cool. It's got the sliders on it. Ladder bars and coil. Okay. Sand Mountain Ballistics is back. Ray needs 2 jacks to change the tires on mine. Okay, that's wild. Why is that? It's weird. Yeah, Dust Devil would rather have the Sawzall life than a tuck tire life. Yeah. Brian's definitely got the tires. Brian, are the tires rubbing on that? What little bit you've driven it? It's close. Twisted Mopar runs a 36-inch ladder bar instead of a 32. Yeah, right on. Blake says with the right offset, might be able to get 12s there. Yeah, that's about right. I remember my buddy Robert on his ladder bar, he had a gauge he would use to set them, and he would use a soda can. It was exactly the height for like a go no go gauge. He would slide under that bar. BNR says the 4L80, they made an electronic shift. Transgo had a shift. There's not a manual valve body for that thing? Are you kidding me? Buff Del Campo says, what does back half mean? It means basically you got rid of the rear frame rails and you put in a fabricated chassis from the back half of the car. So instead of having the factory frame rails welded into the unibody, you've cut all that out and you've replaced it with a set of fabricated frame rails, which are narrower and allow for much bigger tires. I got to tell you, though, back half in a car is not nearly as popular as it used to be. Because with all this small tire racing, this 28 10.5 racing, you don't see nearly as many back half cars as you did, say, in the 90s, 2000s. Old McDonald's got a 295 60 15 on the rear, doesn't have any wheel wells. I was talking with Bigfoot's and Mopar's Mark about what the maximum tire would fit under a Roadrunner with X amount of wheel, and he knew exactly. I mean, he knew within a millimeter all the combinations. I thought that was really cool. It was very helpful. Buff says the 8-10-5 race, 28-10-5, I'm assuming. Yeah, it's good stuff. 38 says he's seen a full manual conversion for the 4L60E easy conversion. Yeah. The only reason I said 4L80 is because I know you were running a 400, and I was thinking, well, that'll keep you basically the same transmission. But the hard parts in the 4L60 seem to last fine. It's that goofy weak overdrive stuff. Then you pigeonhole yourself into limited classes. Yeah, I mean, when you move springs, you can run anything you want. When you back half the car, there's a lot of classes you lose out on then. Lee sent me a picture of a literal back half. Buff, here you go. This is a back half, not in anything. Ties into your front subframes, and it's narrowed and takes a lot of fabrication, but you sure can run a lot more tire. And then, of course, you could run 4 links or ladder bars and get all that benefit too. Twisted Mopar says I can run a 33.5 by 18.5, but too much weight to spin. Yeah, right on. Hey, Lunar Outlaws Garage, I'm glad you're in here. So our friend Scott with an S is trying to get a Charger roof skin from New Hampshire to York, Pennsylvania. We've got people who can get it from York, Pennsylvania to various places along the way to Washington State. We need to know somebody who can help us get it from New Hampshire to York, Pennsylvania. So, Lunar, you're our mayor of the Northeast. If you have any ideas, let us know. Yeah, and I noticed that too. So I'll mention that. Lee says we used 4-link frame rails and they're using ladder bars so they can switch and it's easy. Yes, exactly. So if you notice these frame rails, you notice where the hump is that goes over the rear axle. Then you notice it goes forward and it goes down a significant amount, like probably a foot, right? That gives room to put the 4-link brackets because there's 2 of them, an upper and a lower. Well, a ladder bar just uses one lower bracket only. And so typically a ladder bar rear frame is lower profile in the front. But by using this style, they can do either one. Yeah, I didn't even think about mentioning that, Lee, but yeah. Lunar recommends ship from Fastenal to Fastenal or ship Amtrak. I actually had a bumper shipped last year by Greyhound. I did not know Greyhound was carrying freight, but they do, and they have pretty reasonable rates. Greyhound buses will carry freight now. Rail is great for freight like that too, sure. Well, if anybody knows anybody in our community, that Northeast corridor, we don't have many. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris 103 Customs, he's out of New York State. So I haven't seen him in here tonight. He might be able to hook us up. Buff used Greyhound for many years to ship radiators, always fast service. Well, that's a good hot tip. Buff, I have some old brass Mopar radiators that I would love to bring back to life and talk with you about. And I need to go down to Central Tennessee here in the next month or so. So I'd love to get together with you on some brass radiators. Man, Don is just jonesing to go faster on the drag strip now. You're going to, Don. You're going to. Nick, maybe we'll hook up when I come down. I want to go down and see my uncle, and there's several guys down there in that area I want to go see. So, truck driver on that route's ideal. Well, sure. Anyway, if anybody can help complete the chain to get Scott with an S of Heavens Mopar's roofs, it's a challenge now. This is a challenge. I know we can do this. If you know somebody who can help get that thing from New Hampshire to York, Pennsylvania, we've got hands to get it the rest of the way to Scott. It would be great to figure that out. It's a roof skin for a 69 Charger. Yeah, big part of it, gearing's kind of tall. I got to tell you, though, traction it's one thing, but here's one thing that a lot of people are not thinking about when they spin a little in these street cars. When you spin a little in the street cars, you're also not having problems you might have if you hooked up hard. Like you might not be experiencing a bog that you might if you hooked hard. You might not be experiencing a break that you would experience if you hooked up hard. So be careful what you wish for. Keep that in mind. There are cars that are better off not hooking so hard. Heavens Mopar says, last I heard, Greyhound no longer ships oversized. Okay. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly says, I still have a narrowed 8 3/4. Would be great for a side-by-side. Okay. Lunar Outlaw says, will it fit in the bed of an 8-foot bed? I don't know why not. It should. If it's crated properly, because it's going to need to be up on one side, I'm thinking that roof is wider than your wheel wells, but yeah. And in fact, if you were to use some cribbing to get it up above the wheel wells, it really ought to fit right in there. Well, Max Wedge can answer for himself, but when you say narrowed for an A body, it's probably like narrower than any of that. Probably narrowed for a back aft car. Yeah, spinning a little and spinning halfway down the track are two different things. Right, Tony, but not everybody has a big stump puller of an engine like you do either, with no weight in the back. So, yeah. Now, Haney didn't spin, but Haney's got those steamrollers on it and weighs, a whole lot. So, which of the modern transmissions will fit in a 68 Dart without cutting up the tunnel and bolt up to 340 without a computer? Well, old McDonald probably. So, you're looking for manual or automatic? Let's start with that. 38 says, I wanted to spin so I don't break things. Right. So some cars will hook and just break stuff. Some cars cannot handle a clutch dump and really hook hard and just break a U-joint or break a transmission. What happened last year? Yeah, see, Max Wedges is really narrowed. Springs are 24-inch center to center. Exactly. It's like a really narrowed rear. Yeah, see, Rapid Transit says 518 in my 67 Dart needs a little tunnel massaging. That's exactly why I was asking. Because if you want to do like an A500 or 518, you have to modify the transmission, the torsion bar cross member just a little bit. Two Hacks says, I'll be putting let's see if it'll hook to the test next year. Well, Two Hacks, I mean, he had daylight under the front tires. That car hooked harder than it ever has. Dakota says a Hunter going from a 269 to a 342 will help a lot. Yes. The only people who really struggle going with a lot more gear is when it makes the converter tighten up so much. I've seen that before. Wow. Lunar says for the next 2 weeks, might be building a car on the show, so won't be available. But after that, so Lunar Outlaw. So you see Scott in here, Heavens Mopar Scott. Y'all get together. If you need contact info, let me know. I'll get you in touch. I would love to make that work for Scott. That would be cool. Lunar Outlaw. Scott has a Charger that someone told him will never be a car again. And we all want to see Scott show him that it will be a car again. Yeah, Bad Tree. Yep, the 518. Right. Right on. Sam Mountain Ballistic says, now if I could only find a Posi Cure that wasn't $800. Yeah, it's gotten out of hand. Battery Blake says, pull it out and do a 518 install video. You know, actually, that's not the worst idea. Jay, if your transmission needs a freshen up, now the work has been done to put it in, that will be the perfect time to do that video because you're just taking it out and putting it back. But while it's out, you can show everybody what has to be done to make it fit. Yeah, you know, it's so interesting. After this year's No Name Nationals, we're seeing a whole lot of people talking about going faster. It seems like everybody wants to go faster. I'm anxious to see the off season by Bad Tree Productions. I think the Death Pumpkin just made an appearance and waved and said, "See y'all suckers next year," because I think that car's gonna pick up a lot. We're going to see a lot of people faster than they were this year. I don't know how much pH. I guess that's horsepower. HP the Super is making a 16 psi boost. My stage 2 clutch cannot handle it. Well, there you go. That's how Bob Chandler was with Bigfoot. He just kept finding the next weak link. He'd break axles, break transfer cases, transmissions, and just kept fixing the next weak link. Trying to get through the season before pulling his engine. Yep, I understand. Just pull it, gut it, and call Cope. Well, there you go. That'll work. And by the way, if you want to see, there's a video that Cope Racing Transmissions put up today where Lucas, who works there, took down a 727, had a broken input shaft, and he took it down to do a freshen up on it and replace input shaft. And it's a good video if you just want to see all the working parts in your 727, how it comes apart. It wasn't a how-to, but it was an interesting video, especially if you're wondering about the parts and what all goes into a 727. One of the world's finest 3-speed automatics. Bad Tree says 827 lazy Sunday drive on a Friday. Yeah, there you go. And then he points as I'm frozen. Too warm in here to freeze. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, Tony saw that video. Yeah, it was a good video. Definitely not a comprehensive build, but it's if you're wondering about the guts and stuff that are in one, and it shows you there's not as much to it as some people worry. Max Wedge Dick Daster says faster is what it's all about. Not really. Who's having more fun? Us or the guys trying to run the 3 something in the quarter in a pro mod? We're having more fun, for sure. You realize a top fuel car spends 3 or 4 times what some of our cars are worth on each pass? Who's having fun with that? Who's having fun worrying about rattling the tires? You're going to lose your sponsorship or your job. I mean, that's crazy. How's that any fun? Tony says one of the easiest transmissions you'll ever build. Yeah. Yep. But it's great. The simplicity is a big part of why it's such a good transmission. I mean, my favorite transmission is the 904 family. The 727 is extremely similar, just, has a few variations here and there, but the power flow is exactly the same, and it's a great transmission. was actually the hub, not the input shaft. But in the video, if you replace the hub, you'll break the input. If you replace the input, you'll break the hub, because one of them is going to be the next weak link. So they replaced them together. That's why. But yeah, actually it did. It broke the hub. Mr. Rodder's neighborhood is in the house. We talk about quick cars enough, and Dallas appears. Check that out. Dallas, we were just talking about, we got a lot of people knocking on the door of the fives, and you might resemble that remark. Did you go south this morning? Bad Tree says, I don't see Max D's chats. Bad Tree, I don't know what it is. I have no idea, but he seems like he's had that problem with some other people, and I don't have a clue what it is, because he's definitely not blocked here. That's for sure. I don't know why that would be. If he puts up another one, I'm going to put it up, and then you can confirm whether or not you've got it, Blake, because that's weird. I've heard that from several people about that channel for some reason. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly, you should go into your community settings in your studio, go to settings and go to community, and see if you've accidentally blocked any people that you didn't want to. You should do that, Max Wedge Dick Dastardly. If you need help, holler at me. I'll walk you through it, because I just, I would hate for that to be an accident. Yay, good for you, Dallas. Dallas needed some encouragement to jump in the truck and go. I said, dude, you should go. So he's down there watching Southeast Gassers. Well, awesome. Let's take a little video for us. Dallas does Sykeston. I like that, Blake. You win the comments tonight. Okay. So here's Max Wedge's comment. Just came in. If anybody does not see this, so there's Nick the Van Man, Colleen Tebow, Old McDonald, Max Wedge, Tony, and then Mr. Rodder. If you can't see this, let us know, because either he's accidentally got some people blocked or there's something going on with YouTube. So I'm just putting that up because I've heard that from 2 or 3 people now, and I don't want anybody to miss out. He's a good dude. Of all the people that could happen to, it shouldn't be him. Yeah, Junkyard D says, I want to see some gassers race. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Dakota says, I don't see Max Wedge. That is so weird. So, this comment, can you see this? So just go up a few, Dakota, and see if you see that. It's down just a few from Bad Tree Productions. And then Nick and Colleen and Old McDonald. That's a strange thing. Because Max Wedge is definitely not blocked here. See, Tony says he doesn't see it either. And I don't know why that is. Now, see, Mom says she can't see him. But Old McDonald has a car, said he can. Check that. Isn't that wild? Here we go. Danny Boyd's got some good advice. I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about it. You're right. Switch to live chat. Top chat filter. Exactly. There you go. There you go. Do that. We'll give it a couple minutes, and then we'll try it again. It's funny, Two Stall Garage. When I saw Two Stall Garage, I read it because I just seen Tall Garage's comment. I read it as 25-foot tall garage. I thought, whoa, that must be Ken's brother. Yeah, see, try what was suggested there. Click on the live chat instead of top chat. That's exactly right. Yep, see, Tony, yeah, exactly. I'd forgotten about that weird, obscure thing. Tony switched from top comments to live chat, and it showed it. There you go. That's it. Simple. I knew it would be something simple, and I knew this smart community would know what it was. Oh, wow. So, some of that action going on right there. Hey, what would be cool, Tony? Why don't you pop up a little window over that, and you and your guests can comment on it? That'd be neat. You could do that. Yep. And Junkyard D says now it works. There we go. Problem solved. And Brian did the same thing. Kim had no idea it was a filter. Yeah, I had realized that a while back and forgotten about it completely. Because I actually ran into that, not on a live, but I ran into that in the comments of a posted video one time. And I'm like, man, why does it say there's 14 comments here and I can see about 6 of them? I'm like, there can't be that many blocked. So when I clicked and sorted, because I could see them on my phone, not on my computer, and when I clicked the sort tab and changed it from top chat to or whatever to all comments or whatever, they showed up. That's what it was. Yep, same thing with Sand Mountain Ballistics. There we go, mystery solved. There you go, Max Wedge. For whatever reason, that default position does not like you. I don't know why. See, Don knew it. Don is slick. Don knows things. Well, that's what I'm saying, Dallas. Just exactly, Dallas. Just get him the link, and just there you go. Just add it to the live. That'd be a fun thing to do. Yeah, then you and your guests can have that running and comment on it. That'd be kind of neat. Run it your way, but that's kind of neat. Dallas got it fixed, it sounds like. Looks like Colleen's out later on. Yeah, 38 POS raises as I can't keep up with the comments. Welcome to this. We average between 500 and 1,000 chats per hour. And when Dallas and I'd have like a big special on, it would be as many as 1,500. Mr. Rodder's neighborhood, don't threaten me with a good time. Yep, it's not you, Max Wedge. Not you. We've got it figured out. I hate that happened to you, though, because I remember that was a thing a while back with you. I don't know what caused it. But now you know what to tell people in other chats. Click to live chat from top chat. It'll sort it out. See, I don't have that problem because I'm reading off the StreamYard. Buck is 2 bolts away from getting the 3.8 out. Right on. Out with the V6, in with the 455. Oh, man. Gassers are now finished. Okay. Well, just a thought. Seems like it's kind of late. Yeah, Danny Boyd says, my phone defaults to live, my PC defaults to top. Exactly. Mine's the same way. Most of the old parts and rust says it's cold here, 47 degrees. Two Hacks told me it was cold where he is today. It's nice here today. It's real nice. It's probably in the 80s. I have no idea, Junkyard D. It has nothing to do with this channel. I don't have a clue. That's a good YouTube tech question there. No idea. It could be as simple as his freaking username. They have the most snowflake people running stuff there. There's this. You got settings on your live stream where you can have it automatically dump potentially offensive comments, and you will be amazed the stuff they consider potentially offensive. It's not what you think it would be. We're not talking like George Carlin's list. We're talking about all the things that are like political transgressions now. Crazy stuff. And so I've noticed that where I'm a mod on some other channels and they have it set that way to have to approve comments manually, I'll see it and I'm like, why is this even in the queue for approval? And then, a few minutes later, like, oh, really? And it'll be something ridiculous. Really oversensitive, afraid of nothingness. So it could be something like that. It's I can tell you that the censors at YouTube have a completely different idea of what should be censored than most of us do. Theirs seem to revolve around all kinds of these supposed microaggression things, that kind of stuff. Patrick said it got up to 78. Well, it was nice here today. I don't have any idea what the temperature was, but it was nice. It was a nice, when I walked out the door this morning, I thought, wow, this is a nice early fall day. If you can just stay like this, just a little bit cool in the morning, but the sun is still out. It was just nice. Nice working outside weather, all of that. I can only hope we can have a winter this year like we did last. We had 0 snow here. 38 POS Racing says YouTube doesn't want to offend anybody. That's not true. They couldn't care less if they offend me. They don't want to offend their friends. No, actually, it's not even that. They don't want to wreak the outrage of people feigning offense to stuff that offends nobody. Will be autumn here by morning. Yeah, the fall is coming. I have a maple tree out here that just turned red and yellow like overnight. No Name Nationals really, Cope said it a while back that No Name Nationals was the end of the summer, and he's right. It seems like as soon as we come back from Sykeston, fall starts. There wasn't a leaf down here anywhere 2 days ago, and now several of the trees are starting to put down leaves. So, Buff Del Campo, people are not just waiting to be offended, they're creating ways to pretend to be offended. Literally. It's insane. I'm serious, Blake. I seriously believe that's exactly what it is. Because on your chats, Blake, you have, I think, a manual approval thing. And I've had to manually approve lots of stuff. It took me a minute to even figure out what the problem was with it. Seriously, your chat is set on that manual approval thing. That's why I don't do it. Old McDonald says, I'd love to know if it gets over 100 in Iowa if the corn starts popping on the stalks. Well, Blake can answer that. What say you, Blake? I don't know anything about it. We don't have, there is a little bit of corn around here, but it's not much. We don't have just fields of corn here. Like these cornfields you see in movies, these big open cornfields like maize, we don't have any of that here. You see corn, it's just like a little patch of it here and there. Yeah, Kim says they only want to promote content that is marketable to a wide audience. I think it's worse than that, Kim. I think it's beyond virtue signaling. It's just to the point of beyond nutty. That's what I think. Buff said it was over 120 all summer in Yuma, Arizona. No corn pops. Well, there you go. I like it here. I like the weather here. We had 0 snow in the winter. 0 snow. We literally did not. I don't know if we had a dusting here or not, but there was no snow. And in fact, if I hadn't been up visiting Cope one day when there's a few inches of snow up there in Lowell, Indiana, I would have gone the entire year without seeing any snow. There was none here at all. And that's unusual. Usually we have a few mild snows a year, but there was 0 last year. So I don't think we can have a better winter this year than last, but man, I'd be all for it. It was great. There was 12 months. There were days here and there and weeks that you could go outside and work reasonably comfortably. even in January and February last year. It was great. All of December was good work outside weather. Yeah, now Junkyard D says, I don't want to repeat of last year. It was nasty. Yeah, well, that's North Dakotaville. I've never been to North Dakota. Dust Devil says the town I live in, they grow a lot of horseradish. Okay. Man, you could put everything I know about horseradish in a thimble and have room left over for your finger. Buff said it was below zero in Clarksville, Tennessee. First time I can remember weather that cold. I don't know how. Never got that cold here. We had 1 week where it was kind of cold at the beginning of winter, and that was it. That's interesting. Blake says LP tanks start popping off relief valves at 110-ish degrees if the tank's over 70. That's important. I'll remember that. That's a good point. Probably the best defense around that is keeping your tank in the shade. I would think that would go a long way. Doing some administrative stuff here real quick. On behalf of our friend Tony there. Give me just a second. Dallas, I just sent you the link to Dust Devil says you need to come to the annual Horseradish Festival here in Collinsville, Illinois. Well, Brian, if I come to Collinsville, Illinois while the annual Horseradish Festival is going on, I am hitting you up and we're going to go do it. Oh, what keeps blinking on me here? Hang on. My lights are going to go out. Maybe. That's the strangest thing with my USB. Well, I can fix it. I don't need my speaker. Max Wedge says 68 today. NSB says if it was supposed to be eaten by humans, they would not have named it horseradish. Probably so. $38 POS races. If I walk 100 feet in any direction from my house, I end up in a cornfield. Ray, I don't know why it is, but there's something about you and where you are and cornfields and that car and everything reminds me of the movie Jeepers Creepers. I don't know what it is, but it does. Later, Lunar. Hey, if you do have a hookup or know somebody or some kind of friend of a friend thing to help Scott get that roof skin from New Hampshire, let us know. It sure would be cool to help that happen for him. While I do these lives, my mom babysits for me. That's what Jethro's doing right now. He is out. He just can't hang out, make the whole life. Unfinished Project said, I wonder if Heaven's Mopars needs a front bumper for that Charger. Have to ask him. That Charger that will be a car again? All right, guys, we got just a few seconds to go. Tony's Hot Rod Garage will be live right after this. So, check out what he's got going on over there. And, yeah, I don't know what it is, 38. That movie's kind of, I guess it's just the cornfields and all kind of reminds me of where you are. I think and that movie has, I think is a 59 or 60 Bel Air in it. That's what it is. That's what reminds me of you. That's what I couldn't put my finger on. That's what it is. But anyway, yeah, go over to Tony's Hot Rod Garage. Don't forget tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, Busted Radio Garage is going to be having a big giveaway on his channel live. And with all of that, I will be seeing you guys again next week. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care.